Thank you, Ali sir. We are on live.
Sir, audio is mute, sir. The audio is mute again.
So what is the problem, sir? Okay, I'll do it. I'll stop. हाँ, करेक्ट. हमने शेयर करते वक्त चेकबॉक्स कहाँ आना नहीं है सर. ठीक. I will do now. हाँ सर. Dear students, welcome to Daya. Season 3, 23rd day of Daya season. Today you will be having classes, chemistry and biology. First, chemistry will start, then biology. 4 to 5:50, you will be having chemistry. 6:05 to 8, you will be having biology, dear students. Our chemistry faculty, Professor Ravi Shankar sir, is joining in a while. The topics are going to be, I'll share the topics to you. The chemistry topics are going to be solids and solutions, P block and chemical kinetics. These are the topics for chemistry. Please keep logged in. Sir will be joining soon within a minute's time. Dear students, please keep logged in. Sir will be joining soon. Sir is trying to logging in. Your class will start in another 2 minutes.
Is it audible now? So is it audible? Hello, sir? Sound is not coming. worst is disabled ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ.
To talk, sir.
Now I can listen to you. Is it audible now?
Yes, sir. You are, sir.
Okay, just can I cross check with somebody? Ali sir or Hemant? So, yeah,
Sir,
right.
You're audible, sir. We can hear you.
Then I can go ahead, no?
Yes, sir. You can, sir. You can share your screen now.
But yeah, right.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
Hello.
Hey, is it audible? Hello, Bagli sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, but Bagli sir says things.
You may go ahead with your screen
Yeah,
sharing.
right. Yeah, dear students, we will start our sessions. So yesterday I was discussing about D&F block and coordination in my last class. Okay. So I have left one topic, that is classification of elements. Today we will start with that classification of elements, and then we'll move on to solids and solution. So in classification of elements, what is very, very important? This chapter is very fundamental because mainly four topics: the P block 13 and 14, the S block, the P block again from 15 to 18, again D block, F block. All this chapter depends on this chapter. So what are the basic things we are supposed to know? Okay, few important terminologies and the efforts associated with the classification of elements. We know that very long back in 18th century, law of triads has been proposed, where Daubigny says that group of three elements are having the same property. And here also they arrange the elements in the increasing order of atomic weight. But since it was not applicable to all elements, it becomes a failure. Then we came across Newland's law of octaves. Here also he arranges the element in the increasing order of atomic weight, and he found that very first and the eighth element is having similar property. And he called that group of 8 as a octaves. But again, this is not applicable after calcium. So this also becomes a failure. Then came across Mendeleev periodic table. He also arranges the element in the increasing order of atomic weight, but he is
No,
the
sir,
first
sound
one.
is not coming.
What about students? Bagli sir, can you inquire with students whether they are able to? Is it audible, Hemant sir?
Yes, sir, it is.
But Bagli sir says it's not audible.
No. It's he's checking his system. There's some problem technically there. You're
Okay.
audible, sir. Please go
Sure,
ahead.
can I go ahead then?
Sure, sir. Yeah.
Okay, right. So Mendeleev is the first one to tell us about groups and the particular topic called as periods. And we know that groups are nothing but a vertical columns where all the elements are having a similar property. And period are the horizontal rows. Horizontal rows. This idea of group and period was given by Mendeleev. There are many other scientists who given a lot of efforts in classifying the elements. Mainly, we can remember Lothar Meyer also in this one. Lothar Meyer tries to arrange the elements in the increasing order of atomic weight, but he will plot a physical property like atomic volume against atomic weight, and he gets a graphical representation like this. A curve he gets. He call it as a Lothar Meyer curve. One more scientist is a Chacontis. And he tries to arrange the elements around the cylindrical body. Again, in an increasing order of atomic weight, but around the cylindrical body. And we call that theory as a telluric theory. Telluric theory. So just remember the contribution of all these scientists: Chacotis, Lothar-Meyer, Mendeleev, Newlands, and Dauvergnat. So, but they all try to classify the element based on atomic mass, atomic weight. But one more scientist, mainly, Henry Moseley, he was working on X-rays. And he is the first one to tell us that the property of the element does not depend on the atomic mass, but properties of the element depends on the number of electron, or simply we can say atomic number. Atomic number. So till then we all thought that, all these people thought that, oh, property depends on what? Atomic mass. So they try to arrange the elements based on atomic weight. But because of Henry Moseley, we came to know that, oh, the property does not depend on mass, but depends on the atomic number or the number of electrons. And because of him, today we are having a modern periodic law. What is modern periodic law? The properties of the element are the periodic function of atomic number, we call it as. And based on that, today we are having a modern periodic table. And it's also called based on Bohr's scheme of arrangement. It contains 18 groups and 7 periods. You know that one. We have 4 blocks, S, P, D, and F blocks. Okay. And we can get group number of S block by number of valence electrons in the NS orbital. We can get group number of P block by 10 plus number of valence electrons in the NP orbital. We can get D block, group number of D block by N-1 D and NS orbitals. Group 1 we call it as alkali metal. Group 2 we call it as alkaline earth metals. Group 11 we call it as a coinage metals. Remember this one. Group 15 nitrogens, 17 halogens, 16 chalcogens, 18 noble gases. And we call it as S block because the last electron enters into S orbital, where the configuration may be NS 1 to 2. If the last electron enters into P orbital, we call it as a P block. The configuration is NS2 NP 1 to 6. If it enters into D orbital, we call it as a transition elements. It ranges from 3 to up to 12, and 13 to 18, we have a P block. P block. And if the last electron enters into F orbital, we call it as a F block. And what is the configuration? N-2, F1 to 14, N-1, D0 to 1, or NS2. And please remember, most of the elements, okay, present on the left side of the periodic table, they're all metals. And whereas most of the elements on the right-hand side, they're all non-metals. And metalloids, which behave like both metals and non-metals, they run diagonally across the periodic table. What is a periodic number? Periodic number is the N, with the highest principal quantum number N of the elements. And what it indicates? So it indicates number of elements in each period is twice of the atomic orbitals available in the energy level that are being filled. In a period 1, we call it as N is equal to 1. Principal quantum number is 1. That means we have 2 elements. So in period 2, we have 8 elements. In period 3, 8. In period 4, we are having 18. And remember, the 6 and 7 we call it as a long form of periodic table, long periodic tables. And lanthanides, which starts from lanthanides. Actinide series, which starts from actinides, both belong to what? F block, remember this one. Coming to the periodic trends of the periodic properties. What are the periodic properties? Properties which show regular gradation from left to right in a period and along the group. We call it as a periodic trends. So what are the important periodic trends we are supposed to understand, especially with periodic properties? Mainly atomic size. So what will happen to atomic size? The atomic size down the group is increases, sir. Remember this one. Sir, atomic size down the group increases. From left to right, sir, it increases. It decreases. So down the group, it increases. Left to right, it increases. So why it increases? Because as you go down, the atomic number increases. Sir, atomic number increases. And the number of electron increases. As the number of electron increases, electron enter into new shell. Enter into new shell. When the electron enters into new shell, the two important properties affects it. One is the effective nuclear charge. It reduces. And then shielding effect, what we call it as. So the shielding effect increases. And because of that, the attraction between nucleus and the electron decreases and the size increases. Then why, sir? Then along the period, it decreases. Here, the electron enter into existing shell. Say they enter into existing shell. When they enter into existing shell, the ZFF increases, effective nuclear charge increases, and the attraction increases, and the size decreases. So this atomic size is very important parameter you should understand. And also ionic radius. When you take ions, especially anion is always bigger. So the size of the anion is always bigger than atom. And atom is always bigger than, sir, cation. Bigger than cation. Means if you take anion size is bigger than an atom is bigger than a cation. Always remember, cation is always smaller because it has lost the electron. Anion is always bigger because it has gained the electron. Same way in isoelectronic species. So what is isoelectronic species? The species having a similar size. We call it as isoelectronic species, sir. Isoelectronic species. This is also most favorite question. They always keep on asking. They have the same number of electrons. And always remember, in this case, more the positive charge. Always remember, lesser the size. And more the negative charge. Sir, bigger is the molecule, bigger is the ions. So when I say atomic size, please remember the trend of atomic size and also what is the size of the ions, cation and anion, and also about isoelectronic species. Now we'll go to one more important property, that is ionization enthalpy or ionization energy. It is the energy required to remove the electron. So what is ionization enthalpy? Is the energy required to remove the electron. Remember this one. Energy required to remove electron. When you say energy required to remove electron, that means it is always positive. Is positive. It is always expressed in kilojoule per mole, or it may be kilocalories per mole, or it may be electron volt per atom. Anyway, you can express it. So if you go down the group, it always decreases. And if you go from left to right, sir, it always increases. Why it increases, sir? Why it increases means you can directly correlate with size, because the size decreases. As the size decreases, ZEFF will be more. So you need more energy to remove the electron. You require more energy to remove the electron. Because ionization energy is always inversely proportional to size. More the size, lesser the ionization energy. It also depends on penetration effect. So ionization energy also depends on what? Penetration effect. So what is a penetration effect? That means where the electron is present. Is it present in s orbital? Difficult to remove because they are close to nucleus. So if it is present in F, so easy to remove. Very important this is. So it also depends on whether you are having off-field stability. You are having off-field stability or completely field stability. Completely field stability. Means what? What is off-field stability? For example, if you take group 14 and group 15 and 16. So along the period, if you take this, the ionization energy should increase. But here, group 15, for example, nitrogen, is having off-field stability. Then, according to you, group 14 is what? Carbon. 16 is, say, oxygen. We say carbon is less than nitrogen, nitrogen is less than oxygen. No, this is wrong. This is the wrong concept, sir. Why wrong? Because nitrogen is having a P3 configuration, means off-field. So, carbon will definitely be less. Then oxygen become lesser than nitrogen. Same case with what? The group 2 and boron. The group 2 and group 13. What is group 13? Sir, this is beryllium and boron. We always think beryllium is less than boron. But this is wrong. This concept is wrong. Why, sir? The beryllium is having completely filled NS2 configuration. So what will happen is that boron becomes less than beryllium. So this is, so few things like these exceptions also you have to remember. But general trend is that, what is the general trend? General trend is that, sir, from left to right, it keeps on increasing. Remember this one. Down the group, so it decreases. Okay, sir, is it audible, all of you? Dear students, if it is audible, please message me in question answers. Yes. Please just put a yes in a question answers chat box if you are able to listen to me properly. Oh, good. Sushmita, Ramesh, Sujal, Lalit. Very good. Aditya, thank you, everybody. That's enough. Okay, right. Now let us go to one more parameter. So what is this one? This is all about electron gain enthalpy or electron affinity. So it is all about electron affinity. or electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy. Enthalpy. This electron gain enthalpy or electron affinity means it is the energy liberated. It is not the energy required. So the energy is liberated. Energy is liberated. When electron is added to the isolated gaseous atom, when electron is added to isolated gaseous atom. And again, down the group, it decreases. Sir, left, right, along the period, if I go, it increases. It increases. So why it decreases or increases? Again, electron affinity depends on what? Sir, depends on size. Is inversely proportional to size. Sir. More the size, lesser the electron gain enthalpy or electron affinity. Please remember this one. And again, it also depends on penetration power. Where this particular orbital is present. Orbital is present. And electron affinity, say of noble gas, is 0. So electron affinity of noble gas is 0. And electron affinity can be sometimes positive also and negative also. Most of the times it's negative, sometimes it's positive also. It may be kilojoule per mole also, it may be kilocalories per mole also. It may be kilocalories per mole also. And what is very important, the period 3 elements are having more electron affinity than period 1, period 2. Why, sir? Let us take group 17. In group 17, which is the second period, so fluorine is present. Then we are having chlorine. Then we are having bromine. Then we are having iodine. So who is present at third period? So chlorine is present. So according to you, electron affinity down the group decreases. So down the group decreases. That means F should be highest, chlorine should be less. So F should be more than chlorine according to us. But this is wrong. Why, sir? Because chlorine is more than fluorine, it becomes. This is the right thing. Why, sir? Why it is like this? Because all the elements in the second period, they are having very small size. When they have a very small size, there is a less space and there is a lot of repulsion. So they don't accept electron. So in this case, chlorine becomes more than fluorine. And this is applicable to all the elements in the third period. So my dear students, these 3 characters are very important. Please remember this one. Which are these 3 characters? Ionization enthalpy, electron affinity, and atomic radius. Now I go to one more thing. That is, what is that, sir? That is electropositivity and electronegativity. These are the 5 important characters you're supposed to know. Go to the next one. So electropositivity. What is electropositivity? Electropositivity is all about giving electrons. Giving electron. So down the group, it increases. And left to right, sir, it decreases. And electropositivity is the character of metals. So you can say metallic nature also follows the same trend. So down the group, it increases. Left to right, so it decreases. And this is applicable to all our chapters like P block, D block, F block, S block. Everywhere we can use this general trend. And of course, we can make a small modification according to our requirement. Then, metallic means is electropositive. Electropositive means you give electron. You give electron means that is the reducing nature. That is the reducing nature, sir. So reducing nature also follows the same trend. So down the group, it increases, left to right, so it decreases. Decreases. And metallic oxides. Remember, metallic oxides are basic. So basic. So down the group, sir, it increases. And left to right, sir, it decreases. It decreases. So all these character, they are like depends on each other. Please remember it. Let's go to last property. What is the last property, sir? That is electronegativity. So what is electronegativity? It is all about withdrawal of electron. So it is all about removal of electron, withdrawal of electron, withdrawing of electron. That we call it as what? Electronegativity, sir. Down the group, it decreases. But left to right, sir, it increases. And who is electronegative? So non-metals are electronegative. So the non-metallic nature also follows the same trend. So down the group, it decreases. And left to right, sir, it increases. It increases. Since they withdraw electron, that is almost like accepting electron. Accepting electron means they can act as a oxidizing agent. That means oxidizing nature also follows the same trend. The oxidizing nature also follows the same trend. So left, right increases, down the group decreases. And non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So down the group, sir, it decreases. And left, right, sir, it increases. Decreases. Please remember it. So these are the very important properties of the our modern period table. This you have to remember. This plays a crucial role. So if we take all of that, if we sum it together, so if I take atomic size, if I take atomic size, down the group, sir, it increases. Left to right, sir, it decreases. If I take then ionization enthalpy or ionization energy, sir, ionization energy, if I take down the group, sir, it decreases. Left to right, it increases. So if I take electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy, it also follows the same trend. So left to right, it increases, and down the group decreases. And if I take electropositivity, so left to right, it decreases, whereas down the group, it increases. If I take electronegativity, so left to right, it increases, down the group, it decreases. Please remember these important parameters. And you should remember the order of the element also. What is the order?
So which element will come in order in each group? And many people say it's difficult. I'll tell you, there are so many tricks available in this YouTube and everything. You can just take few tricks. For example, I'll give you one few example. Many students, they say, sir, it's difficult to remember all the elements. How many elements we are having? 118. You can remember all 118 in 5 minutes. I just give you a few examples. Say group 1. What is that? We know that it is alkali metal because the oxides and hydroxides of these elements are basic. How to remember? Just remember one English sentence. Is last sun plays rugby, cricket, football. What is H? Hydrogen, sir. L, sir, lithium. N, sir, sodium. P, potassium. R, sir, rubidium. Cricket, cesium. C, F stands for francium, sir. Over. So how to remember group 2? What is group 2? Alkaline earth elements. Alkaline. You may remember just one English sentence like, but my calm sun begs for rugby. B stands for what? Beryllium, sir. M stands for Mg, magnesium. C stands for calcium. S stands for strontium. So B stands for barium. And R stands for radium. Easily you can remember all the elements in order. So let us remember group 13, sir. What is the group 13 family? Boron. Brother Akash got intelligent thought. Nicely. B stands for what? Sir, boron. A stands for, sir, aluminium. G stands for, sir, gallium. I stands for indium. T stands for thallium. N stands for nihonium. So what is group 14? Carbon family. Very easy. Just remember one sentence. Can sun go to left forever? So C stands for carbon. S stands for silicon. G stands for germanium. T stands for tin. Sn. L stands for lead, sir. Pb. F stands for flerovium. Like this, you can just take some codes or mnemonics, we call it as. Easily you can remember all the 118 elements in a order. Now let us go to some questions now. In the following element with the highest ionization energy is. So what is the highest ionization energy? Already I told you. Ionization energy is all about removal of electron. Left to right. So left to right, what will happen? It increases. Down the group, sir, it decreases. So option A. What is that option A? So 3p1. 3p1 means is a group 13. So option A comes here. So group 13, P block. So what is P2? It come here. Next one, sir, 14. That C will come here. 3p2. 3p3. So that B will come here. So that is 15. And D will come here. That is 3p4 means group 16. So what may be the option now?
He is asking for highest ionization energy. What may be the option? I told you a certain idea behind this one. Group 13 means, I'll tell you, it's a boron family. 14 means, so it's a carbon family. 15 means nitrogen. 16 means oxygen. And we think always boron is less than carbon, carbon is less than nitrogen, nitrogen is less than oxygen. Is it not? So this is a general trend we think. This is wrong, I told you. Why? Sir, nitrogen is having off-field stability. Is having off-field stability. So the order should be B less than carbon, carbon should be less than oxygen, oxygen should be less than nitrogen, sir. So nitrogen should be highest. Means the B should be highest. B refers to nitrogen. Nitrogen refers to group 15. Group 15. That means this one, sir. B should be highest. Let us check it out. Yes, sir. This is right. What we have done is also right. In the period table, metals usually used as catalysts belong to. When you use it as a catalyst, you need to have certain property. Like what? There should be vacant d orbital. They should have a variable oxygen state. There should be variable oxidation state. And this particular property belongs to what? So it belongs to D block. Because you know the D block element means what? Transition elements. And transition elements are very good catalysts because of this property. So option should be B, sir. Let's check it out. Yes, answer is B. The element with atomic number 21 is A. What it is, sir? Is a transition, means is it a D block element? What may be the answer? Let's check it out. So what is that? So atomic number 21. 21 means, let us write the configuration. So 1s2. Then you are having 2s2. So 2p6. So total how many electrons are over now? 10 electrons are over. Then let us take 3s2, 3p6. So 8 is done. 4s2. So 10 is done, another 10. That means 20 is over. Last electron. The last electron should enter into 3d, sir. That means 3d1. That means the last electron is entered into d orbital. That means it is D block, sir. D block means transition elements. Transition. Next one. The correct order in which first ionization potential increases is. First ionization potential increases is. Let's clear this one. Let us write it down. What is that? Potassium. Potassium means, sir, it is a group 1. So it comes in group 1. Who else will come? Sodium will come, sir. After sodium, potassium will come. And who is in group 2? Sir, beryllium is present in group 2. And ionization energy, know that. Ionization energy left to right, sir, it increases. And down the group, sir, it decreases. So it decreases. So what may be the option? That means beryllium should be more. Beryllium should be more means, sir, we have to write like this. Beryllium is more than, sir, sodium. Sodium is more than potassium. Or we can write it like this also. Potassium is less than sodium or sodium is less than beryllium. Any option is there? Just check it out. He says increases. He says increases. Increases means increasing order. Increasing order means first potassium we have to take, sir, then sodium, then beryllium. So KNAB means which ones are last options are? It is the D option. Yes, D is the answer. Remember, so D is the option, sir. Next one. The correct ionization energy of a carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine is, what may be the option? Already told you. Again, it's all about ionization energy. Ionization energy, what will happen? So left to right, it increases. Means for example, if I take group 13, which is group 13, so carbon. Group 14 means, I told you, sorry, this 13 is boron, 14 is carbon, 15 is nitrogen, and 16 is oxygen. And 17 is what? Sir, fluorine. So who is highest? So fluorine is highest. No doubt about it. Means fluorine should be more. Everything else should be lesser. Who should be lesser? The boron should be lesser, sir. The B should be at last. Boron they have not given. So let us remove the boron. Then we will take it as carbon. Sir, carbon should be at last. And among oxygen, nitrogen, I told you, nitrogen is having off-field stability. So nitrogen is having what? Off-field stability. That means nitrogen is there. Nitrogen is more than oxygen. So oxygen should come, and nitrogen should come later. So this will exchange. So this should be the order, sir. CONF. Where it is present, sir? Option C, sir. Let us check it out. Option is C. Next, the oxide of element whose electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1 is. I already told you, metallic oxides are basic in nature. So basic. Whereas non-metallic oxides are, I already told you, they are acidic. Or acidic. So then we have to find out whether it is a metallic or non-metallic. So how can you say that? Whenever electron enters into s orbital, so electron enter into s. That means it belongs to s block. And S block elements are metals. So the oxides are also, sir, it should be basic. Should be basic. Basic means, sir, it has to be option B, sir. Option B. Let's check it out. Yes, sir. Option B it is. The order of stability of a metal oxide is. Sir, how can you tell the stability of a metal oxide? These are all appeared in CET question paper 2009. How can we tell that? Sir, it's very easy. Metallic oxide stability. Metallic oxide stability depends on lattice energy, sir. Depends on lattice energy. Depends on lattice energy. And lattice energy depends on the size of the ion. Size of ions. More the size of this particular cation, so more the lattice energy, more the stability. So who is bigger? Sir, magnesium. So among all these things, magnesium is bigger. So magnesium oxide, everything should be less than magnesium oxide. Sir, among iron, chromium, or aluminum, iron oxide will be less. So there are two options, B and C. So what may be the options? Then among these, next comes chromium oxide, and then comes aluminum. So what may be the option then? Sir, option will be B only, sir. Next one. Generally, the first ionization energy increases along a period, but there are some exceptions. One which is not an exception is. What may be the answer? Where we can have an exception. For which element we can have an exception?
Sir, one student raised hand. Chaitra,
Yeah.
instead of raising hand, if you have any query, you put in Q&A.
Yeah, you can put
You
it.
will not be able to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put it in question and answers, or you can type it. No problem. No problem. Type it. I'll wait for you. All of you are able to understand? because this is a very fundamental chapter. I want all of you to be thorough with this particular chapter before I go get into all other things. Yes or no, all of you? Have you understood what are the question I've discussed? All of you, please put yes there. Bhageshri, Yogesh, yes, Lalita, Inchara, Mahesh, very good. Yogesh, all of you. Very good. Hi, Aishwarya. Anonymous, please change your name. That don't keep it as anonymous. Get force experience. Yes, Aishwarya, Sandhya, Yashwant. Next one. So, how to, sir, analyze these things? What is first generation energy? Energy required to remove the first electron. We call it the first generation energy. Okay, where is the exception? I told you. The exception is there at where at off-field stability, ionization energy left to right increases and down the group decreases. Where you have exception? Exception is at nitrogen. The exception is at beryllium and boron. Boron, nitrogen and oxygen. Why, sir? Because oxygen becomes less than nitrogen here. Here, boron becomes less than beryllium. So in option A, there is an exception. So there is not the option. Sir, in option D, there is an exception. That is not the answer. So it has to be B and C. What may be the answer? So who does not have an exception? Who we can say exception is not there. So mainly sodium and magnesium, they cannot have an exception. They cannot have an exception. So option should be option B. Next. So the correct order of electronegativity of nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and phosphorus is. And you know that electronegativity left to right means along the period, so it increases. So what they're given, just observe it. The SR is given fluorine, oxygen is there, nitrogen is there, and then phosphorus is there. So if you take this one, down the group, electronegativity decreases. So who should be highest? So fluorine should be highest, sir. That is more than oxygen. Oxygen is more than nitrogen. And when you take nitrogen and phosphorus, what will happen? Down the group, it decreases. So nitrogen should be more than phosphorus. So this should be the order. Where it is, sir, option C, sir. Option C. C is the answer. Next. So the correct element for the ions in the increasing order of the radii is. Observe these particular elements. There is something special about these elements. What is their special, sir? If you look at the Na+, there's +1 it is. What is the atomic number of sodium? Remember this one. Sir, 11. Then you are having chlorine. What is chlorine? So -1. That is 18. And then he has given calcium. What is calcium? Ca2 plus. Calcium atomic number is 20. That means 18. So the element is not proper. So A is not the answer. Why, sir? If you go by a Hardher, what has to happen? The sodium should be bigger than calcium. It should be bigger than chlorine. A cannot be the answer. Let us go to B. What is B, sir? Ca2 plus. Again, I told you, Ca2 plus means atomic number is 20 minus 2. That is 18, sir. Sir, K plus. K plus is, sir, 19 plus 1. Again, 18, sir. S2 minus. That is 16 plus 2, sir. Again, 18. That is, these elements are isoelectronic. So isoelectronic. I already told you. In isoelectronic, more the positive charge, lesser the size. I already told you. More the positive charge, lesser the size. So who is having more positivity? Calcium 2 plus, sir. Ca2 plus should come first. Is lesser than, sir, K plus. And K plus is lesser than negative ion. Is 2 minus. What is the option? Sir, option is B. It has to be B, sir. So what we have done is also B. Next one. For the properties mentioned, the correct trend for different species is in the order. What may be the option? What may be the correct trend? Let us go to Lewis acid. What is Lewis acid? So that means acid is the one which accepts pair of electron. Accept pair of electron. And he says boron trichloride is more than aluminum trichloride or gallium chlorides. Is it right? And what is boron? Which group it is? Boron is group 13, sir. I already told you. Brother Akash. God means gallium. Intelligent, indium. Thought, thallium. Nicely, neonium. So, brother, boron, aluminum, gallium comes down the group. When it comes down the group, the strength, Lewis acid strength also decreases. So naturally, BCl3 is more, sir. So option A is right. Where's the correct option, sir? For one of the element, various successive ionization enthalpies are given below. Which is the element? What will be the option? If you observe carefully, what is ionization energy? Energy required to remove the electron. There is a sudden jump from the third ionization enthalpy to fourth ionization enthalpy. There is a sudden jump from 2750 to almost 11,580. That means you are able to remove first electron, you're able to remove second electron, but you are having a problem with third electron. And especially fourth one, you need more energy. So you're able to remove the 3 electron. You're able to remove 3 electron. That means the metal should have a valency of M plus 3. Who is having that valency? Say, for example, magnesium. No, sir, magnesium can have a Mg2 plus value. So magnesium 2 plus cannot be. So then aluminum, sir, yes, aluminum can have 3 plus value. It has a 3 valence electron. Aluminum 3 plus is valence electron. So that means, sir, option is D, sir. Next one. Which of the following metal oxide exhibit amphoteric nature? So what may be the amphoteric nature? Already we have discussed about it. Metallic oxides. I told you they are all basic. Non-metallic oxides are, so non-metallic oxides are acidic. Acidic. So who is metallic basic oxide, sir? Calcium oxide is basic oxide. Sir, sodium oxide is basic. So the option C and D cannot be. What will be the options, sir, then? There's only 2 things left, barium oxide and aluminum oxide. So barium oxide is also more metallic in nature. So only option left behind is option B, sir. B is the answer. Next one. What will be the option? Electronegativity of carbon, nitrogen, silicon, and phosphorus. What is electronegativity? So electronegativity, down the group decreases. So left, right increases. Right increases. So what may be the option? Which are the elements they are given? So they given nitrogen. So nitrogen comes where? At 15. Carbon. Where is the carbon? So carbon is at 14. Then given silicon. Silicon comes under carbon. Then phosphorus comes under nitrogen. So this is the arrangement. So who is more? As you go left to right, it increases. So that nitrogen is more. So carbon, nitrogen, if you compare, carbon should be lesser than nitrogen. And silicon and phosphorus, if you compare, silicon should be lesser than phosphorus. So the option should be, sir, option. Next one. The orbital nearest to the nucleus is. Which is the orbital nearest to nucleus? This in my last class also we have discussed about it. Always in a s orbital, the electrons are near to nucleus. This I also discussed during penetration power. What is penetration power? Where this electron is present. I told you penetration power is more in where? Yes, S is more than P, P is more than D, D is more than F. Why is penetration power is more in S? Because the electron near to nucleus. You cannot remove it easily. So option is, sir, option C. Next one. Which of the following is the correct order of radius? Correct order of radius. This already told you. When it comes to ions, anion is always bigger than atom. Atom is always bigger than cations. So what will be the option? Anion means, say for example, H minus is more than H atom. Atom is always bigger than cation. So the option should be yes, sir. Should be. The first ionization enthalpy of the following elements are in the order. Following elements are in the order. What may be the order? So remember, these are the properties: ionization energy, electron affinity, electropositivity, electronegativity, ionic size. These are the properties they ask very frequently. So what they are asking, carbon. Carbon means it is a group 13 or 14. Nitrogen means 15. Then they have phosphorus. Phosphorus means below nitrogen, and silicon means below carbon. So what they are given ionization enthalpy. Left to right it increases. So definitely nitrogen is more. So nitrogen is more, sorry. Everything else should be lesser than nitrogen. Then comes carbon. And in silicon and phosphorus, I told you, silicon is less, phosphorus is more. So it should be the D option, sir. Next one. So till now we have discussed about classification elements. Now we go to solids. So what are the things we have to study in solids? First, we discuss about classification of solids. Classification of solids. So how solids can be classified? You know that you have studied in high school. Matter, what is a matter? Anything which occupies space and as a matter can be divided based on what? Some physical state. What do you mean by that? Solids, liquid, and gases. Gases. So you know that solids, the particles are very close to each other. The interparticular space is very less and all those things. So here in this chapter, we go a bit ahead of it. What is that? Here we discuss about two types of solids, crystalline and amorphous. And crystalline solids, we call it as true solids and anisotropic. Why? If you measure any property in this particular solid, along the length of the solid, you may get one property, along the breadth, you may get another value. So it is not same. So it's anisotropic. And they have a definite pattern of arrangement of atoms. Then they have a long range order. They can also be classified into molecular, ionic, metallic, or covalent solids. So what is amorphous? Amorphous or isotropic. We call it as pseudo-colloidal solids or supercooled liquids. They do not have definite pattern of alignment. They have a short range order and they do not show any symmetry. So this is the classification of a solids into crystalline and amorphous. Then we can also classify based on magnetic property. So based on magnetic property, we can classify them as diamagnetic. So what is diamagnetic? So these are weakly repelled by magnetic field. We call it as diamagnetic. So what is paramagnetic? This is very important. They're weakly attracted by external magnetic field. So what is ferromagnetic? These are the substances which show a permanent magnetism even in the absence of external magnetic field. Means they can be made into permanent magnet, nickel, iron, cobalt. So what is antiferromagnetic? They have a zero net dipole moment. Why? Even though they have a unpaired electron, they have a zero net dipole moment. Because number of electrons present in one domain is exactly equals to the electron present in an opposite domain. What is this? Sir, ferrimagnetic substances. These substances possess small net magnetic moment. Even though they have a large number of. For example, iron oxide. Please remember this one. So this is a classification of magnetic property. There is one more classification based on what types of particle. What types of particle is there? We know that lattice point. What is lattice point? The position of a particle in a crystal lattice system. Know that one. So in a lattice point, if you present have a molecule, we call it as a molecular solids. So the constituent particle is a molecule. And these molecular solids can be non-polar, polar, and hydrogen bond. So what is non-polar? Their attraction force is only dispersion or London force. Examples are argon, carbon tetrachloride, hydrogen, iodine, and carbon dioxide. Next one. So what is ionic solid? Where the types of particle is ions and the force of attraction is electrostatic force of attraction. So sodium chloride, magnesium oxide, zinc sulfide, calcium chloride. These are all examples for ionic solids. And they are odd but little and act as an insulator in a solid state, but conductor in molten state. Next one is metallic solids, where the lattice point is occupied by metal ions, positive metal ions, surrounded by electrons. And the force of attraction is metallic bonding. Iron, copper, silver, magnesium, all these metals. Covalent solids. What is covalent solids, sir? Where the atoms are the constituent particles. Covalent bonding is there. So this is the classification based on types of particle, magnetic property, and crystalline amorphous. Next, we'll go to unit cell. What are the unit cell? We are having the primitive unit cell. Okay. And the constituent particles are present at the corner and at the center also. If it is present at center, we call it as BCC. If it is at the face, FCC. If present on the any two opposite faces, we call it as end center. End center. And how to calculate Z in that particular simple cubic system? So there are 8 corners are there. And you know that 8 corners can be shared by 8 unit cells. So that's why 1 by 8 into 1. So coordination number is 6. We call it as a 2R is equal to D. We call it as. Or we can also write 2R is equal to D, sir. Why, sir? In the constituent particle, in the cube, if you take the cube, in the simple cubic system, each corner, 2 particles are present. Particles are taken as a spherical object. You take it as a spherical object. So radius of this particular particle, radius of this particular particle, we call it as 2R. So 2R is equal to D, edge length. Or R is equal to, sir, D by 2. R is equal to D. Like that BCC, how many Z particle, number of particles are? Sir, 2. FCC, sir, we are having a 8 corner particles and 6 faces. Each face can be shared between itself. So it is 4, sir. So what is the packing efficiency here? And remember this one here, BCC, D is equal to A by square root of 2. And here, D is equal to square root of 3A by 2. Here packing efficiency is 52, sir. BCC 68%, FCC 75%. Other than packing efficiency, we call it as a void. So what is the void here in FCC? So nothing but 100 minus 78 purity. 22, sir. And if you take a octahedral voids, what is the size? 0.414R. How many number of voids? So n times. N times are there. In simple cubic system, how many voids of octahedral? So n times. How many number of tetrahedrals are 2n times? Tetrahedral is always equal to 2n. Next one. So coming to defects in the solids. So which are the defects? Mainly there are 2 types of defects, non-stoichiometric and stoichiometric. Stoichiometric means they do not affect the composition. There are 2 types, Frenkel and Schottky defects. What is Schottky? Where both equal number of cation and anion are missing. So when they are missing, they decreases the density. Where they can be found, they found in the ionic compounds having cation and anion of same size. Remember this. So what is Frenkel defect? Here, in Frenkel defect, the cations are missing, but they're present in where? Interstitial sites. So they're present inside the solid. So there's no effect on the density. And these are present in a crystals with a low coordination. So what is a metal non-stoichiometric defect? Which affects the composition of the solid. In that there are 2 types, metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. So what is a metal excess defect? It arises due to anionic vacancy. When anionic vacancy is empty, what will happen? The cation becomes more. Which is the cation? Usually cations are metals. So we call it as a metal excess. And this anionic vacancy is we call it as a hole occupied by electron. We call it as a F center. And these F centers are the one which gives color to the crystal. There is another type called as metal deficiency defect. This arises when metal shows variable valency and is mainly due to missing of cation from its lattice site. So these are the types of unit cell, what I told you before, simple primitive unit cell and non-primitive unit cell. In non-primitive, we have BCC, body-centered, face-centered, and end-centered. And we can calculate density is equal to what? Z, number of particle, molecular mass, Hertz length, and Avogadro number. So we are having a 7 crystal system and 14 Bravais lattice system, we call it as. So 14 Bravais lattice system. In cubical systems, sir, where classification is based on Yaman sir, are you there?
Sir, I am there. I am there.
You're okay, no problem. Okay, right.
Okay.
So here this classification is based on mainly bond parameter, unit parameters, based on bond length and bond angles. If bond length and bond angle is equal, we call it as a cubic system, simple cubic system. If bond length are not equal and alpha and then gamma is equal to 90, beta is equal to 90, not equal to 90 degree, we call it as a monoclinic. Monoclinic can have simple cubic system at end-centered unit cell also. These are called as Bravais lattice. So in a triclinic, remember this one, in triclinic, bond length are not equal. Bond angle is also not equal to 90. Please remember, in a cubic, everything is equal. In triclinic, everything is not. Like that, we have tetragonal, orthorhombic, rhombohedral, hexagonal. 7 crystal system we are having. 14 Bravais lattice system we are having. Bravais lattice system we are having. This already we have done, so we'll not go to it. Please remember this one, how to calculate R, they will ask in numericals. In simple, A is equal to R, whereas in body-centered, 4R is equal to square root of 3A, and face-centered, 4R is equal to square root of 2A. So in a two-dimensional closing packing, we can have either we are having where all layers are same, AA type we can call it as. Okay, where we can have it is square close packing. In hexagonal close packing, what we are having is AB type. We have AB layer, then we are having AB layer again. This kind of layer will give you hexagonal close packing. Then, sir, in a three-dimensional close packing, what we get? We got hexagonal close packing. By what? By AB type of this particular element. Sir, AB type. Whereas we get cubical close packing when we are having ABC layer. Radius ratio, this is very important again. If radius ratio is 0.1 to 0.2, remember, coordination number is 3 and triangular, planar wide. If 0.2 to 0.4, coordination number of cation is 4. Like that, 0.4 to 0.7, 0.7 to 0.1. This we call as radius ratio. So let us take a few questions from that. A compound is formed by elements A and B. This crystal is in a cubic structure where A atoms are at the corners of the cube. B atoms are at the body center. The simplest formula of the compound is. What may be the answer? He says A is present at the corner. A is present at the corner. When he is present at the corner, how many corners are there? 8. And how many unit cell can share it? Sir, 8 unit cell can share it. So it may be 1. We can take it as A1. Let's go to B. So B is a body centered. This nobody can share it. Only one unit cell can share it. So that is equal to 1. Means B1. Either we can write A1, B1, or it has to be AB, sir. AB means, sir, option is C. Option is C. Yes, sir, C is the option. Next one. Here, any compound is expected to have tetrahedral structure if R plus and R minus lies in the range of. What may be the option? Just now I told you, radius ratio. Where we have studied radius ratio, I'll show you that. Look at here. Here it is. You can see the radius ratio. 0.1 to 0.2 means 3 coordination number is. 0.2 to 0.4 is 4. Then you get a tetrahedral voids. So then what should be the ratio? That's what he's asking. Tetrahedral means you have to get coordination number of 4. Coordination number of 4. So coordination number of 4 means it has to be between 0.2 to 0.4. Then only you get a coordination number of 4. Then you have a tetrahedral structure. That means, sir, it has to be option D. Then, a compound A and B crystallizes in a cubic lattice system in which A at corner. When you say A is at corner, we know that 8 corner points are shared by 8 unit cells, so it has to be 1 cell. And he says B is at the face of each center. Sir, B is at the face. Face center points, how many faces are there? 6 faces are there. And how many units can share it? Sir, only 2 units can share it. That means 3. So it has to be A1, B3, or we can also call it as AB3. Sir, AB3 means it has to be, sir, option C. Option C. Yes, sir, option C, sir. Next one. Which of the molecular following is a molecular crystal? Which can be a molecular crystal? We have discussed about classification of solids, isn't it? You can classify these solids based on what? So based on mainly magnetic property, I told you, into diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and so on. So we can classify based on conductivity into semiconductor, insulators, and P-type, N-type semiconductor. We know that one. So we can also classify based on what? Types of particle. Where? Types of particle at lattice point. At lattice point. Sir, at lattice point, if ion is there, we call it as ionic. Ionic solid. And if molecule is there, sir, we call it as a molecular solid. And in that, I told you polar and non-polar. Sir, polar and non-polar. So what it may be? If molecule is present, we call it as a molecular crystal. Which can be molecular crystal? In this, rock salt is an ionic crystal. Sir, rock salt is an ionic crystal. Sir, quartz is a silicates. It's a covalent crystal. So it cannot be. What is rock salt? Rock salt is the NaCl star. Is the ionic crystal. What is a quartz? Sir, quartz is a silicate. Silicate means that it is a covalent crystal. And even diamond is also covalent crystal, sir. Even diamond is also covalent crystal. So only option left behind is, sir, dry ice. Dry ice is a molecular. What should be the option then? Sir, C should be the option. C is the answer, sir. Next one. So which one of the following is a covalent crystal? Just now I told you. All these things I told you. What is rock salt? Sir, NaCl. Is ionic crystal? Just now I told you, no. I repeat it again. So this is what I discussed. Sir, NaCl is a ionic crystal. I told you quartz is a covalent crystal. Dry ice is a molecular crystal. So which is covalent? Sir, covalent is quartz. Quartz means again option is C, sir. Options. Sir, metallic cluster is due to what? What will be the option? Luster means what? Sir, the shining, the sparkle. We call it as a metallic luster. Why it happens? So when the light falls on the metal will shine. Why? The electron present on that will absorb energy and oscillate. These electrons are what responsible for it. When the light falls on them, they vibrate. And that causes what? Shining. What may be the option? We can say it's a reflection of light, sir. Option C. Sorry, we can take it as option C, sir. Options. Next one. In a face-centered cubic lattice, the unit cell is shared equally by how many unit cells? So it has a 6 faces. So 6 unit cell will share it. So what may be the option? Sir, option is A. Next 8, sir. A crystalline solid X by 3 as a CC pyramid. For its element Y, X occupies what? And he already says the ratio of X and Y is what? 1:3. 1:3. He says CC pyramid. So in this case, 1:3 means we can take it as what? 1/3 into 100. That means almost around 33%, sir. 33%. And 33% of what is a tetrahedral or octahedral? So it is an octahedral words. Octahedral words. So what may be the option? Octahedral means, sir, it has to be D, sir. It's not B, not tetrahedral. Next one. A volume occupied by single cesium chloride ion pair in a crystal is 7.1014 into 10 to the power of minus 23 centimeter cube. The smallest cesium-cesium internuclear distance is equal to length of the side of the cube corresponding to volume of one cesium chloride ion pair. The smallest cesium to cesium internuclear distance is how much it is? He is asking what is A. We know that volume occupied by a single cesium chloride ion pair in a crystal is, he has given. So we know that volume of what? Volume of cesium chloride is how much? So it's nothing but A cube. And what is the value he has given? Sir, 7.014 into 10 to the power of minus 23. That is equal to A cube. Now what do you have to calculate? Sir, you have to calculate A. A is equal to what? Cube root of 7.014 in 10 to the power of minus 23. Minus 23. Sir, what may be the value then? If we solve it, A is equal to, sir, it is around 4.12 into 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeter. But he is not given centimeter. The value is given in Armstrong. So if you convert it into Armstrong, it becomes what? Sir, 4.12 Armstrong. 4.12 Armstrong. Or is almost near to. Sir, we can call it as 4 Armstrong. So what may be the option? Sir, option is C. Next one. The unit cell with the crystallographic dimensions where A, B, C is not equal, whereas alpha and gamma is equal to 90 and beta is not equal to 90. So we call it as what? Monoclinic, option A. Sodium metal crystallizes in a BCC lattice with a edge length of 4.29 Armstrong. He has given already edge length. What is edge length? Sir, A. A is equal to, sir, 4.29 Armstrong. The radius of the sodium atom is, he says BCC. In BCC, we know that. What is that? 4R is equal to square root of 3. Why 4R, sir? Because if you take a body-centered cubic system, in the body diagonal axis, if you remember this as a cube, where the body diagonal axis will come in opposite corner. So one point here, one is at body, one again at the corner. This we call it the body diagonal axis. And each particle is taken as what? A spherical. A spherical. And if you take the radius of one half sphere and the diameter of a one full sphere and again radius of the half, it becomes what? 4R, sir. 4r is equal to square root of 3a. So what you want? You want r. R is equal to what? R is equal to square root of 3a by 4. That's what we have to do. A we are given. How much? So square root of 3 by 4 into A is 4.29 Armstrong. So if you calculate, it comes to our answer 1.857 Armstrong. 1.87 means sir option B.
Sir, it's break time.
Break time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then we'll continue by tomorrow. Then again, same time.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Students
Okay.
will be having next at 6:05. Biology class will be there. And can go for break for 15 minutes. Join back for biology class. Sir, tomorrow remains same, right, sir?
Same rate, sir. Same. Mine is
Tomorrow
first.
also we have
Mine is first chemistry. Then Pawan sir will come for biology.
Okay, tomorrow Ravi Shankar sir chemistry will be there 4 to 5:50, 6:05 to 8 Pawan sir's biology will be there.
Yeah, right.
Students
Same.
join back after the break. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then.
College is often viewed as a mere institution, a labyrinth of classrooms, textbooks, and endless exams, where our future is shaped. Yet, when we step foot on campus, we realize that we are not alone on this journey. University transcends academia, transforming into a vibrant community where individuals unite. To learn from one another, to grow and to forge unforgettable bonds. It's not always about having a precise plan. It's not always about figuring out. It's not always about reaching the finish line first. It's about discovering what we are truly passionate about. The true essence of college, however, lies beyond the confines of academic pursuits. What truly makes college so special is the life that's lived within its walls. It's about seeing things from different perspectives, exploring unique possibilities, taking on new challenges, finding joy in friendship, embracing individuality, expanding our knowledge and skills, and immersing ourselves in extraordinary experiences. It's a path that teaches us about resilience, courage, and determination. A quest that allows us to pursue our goals with purpose and clarity. A quest that helps us find balance, happiness, and fulfillment. A transformation that inspires us to live with intention, curiosity, and joy. And a trail that leads us to a deeper understanding of who we are. It's a journey of self-discovery. Experience shapes us. College for education, what we live, experiences, shapes. Experience a whole new world of academic excellence in a global environment. University, inspiring future trailblazers today. Dayanand Sagar University's College of Allied Health Sciences in Harohalli, Bangalore. We are changing the game in medical diagnostics and treatment. Our innovative program combines theoretical knowledge with hands-on clinical training at our 300-bed tertiary care hospital, soon to expand to 1,350 beds in 3 years. Our cutting-edge infrastructure includes an advanced skill lab and simulation center to prepare you for global healthcare challenges. Plus, with regular workshops and conferences, you'll stay up to date on industry trends. Our strong curriculum is aided by technological advancements, and you'll have opportunities for innovative research at our Central Research and Innovation Wing. Gain real-life experience with 1 year of industrial exposure. Experience academic excellence in a global environment at Dayanand Sagar University. Live the dream. Nestled within the beautiful and peaceful setting of Dayanand Sagar University's Harohalli campus is the prestigious College of Nursing, where you embark on a transformative journey as we flawlessly fuse academic expertise with practical skills through our advanced curriculum, renowned for our focus on innovation and advancement. Our experienced faculty members are at the forefront of the nursing field, constantly incorporating the latest advancements in technology and research into the curriculum. Our pioneering facilities, including simulation labs and clinical training rooms, provide an immersive, real-world healthcare environment. The Harohalli campus is a modern and supportive community, complete with all necessary amenities, and provides the perfect, serene environment for students to focus on their studies and achieve their goals. Join our vibrant community and prepare for a successful career in nursing.
Dear students, another 5 minutes are there. In 5 minutes, class will start. Meanwhile, I'll ask biology faculty to join back. Dear students, Madam is joining now. And within 5 minutes, class will start. Ask your friends to join exactly at 6:05, 1 minute before. It's just 5 minutes left. Just wait for 2 more minutes. Biology class will start exactly at 6:05, dear students. And there's just 3 minutes are there. Ask your friends to join back. Do not miss the important biology class. It's very important, dear students. Yes, madam, you joined.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Okay. Just 1 more minute.
Yeah.
Another 3 minutes are there for the break. Once
Okay.
it is finished, you can start, madam. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fine. Fine.
Madam, topics were given like yesterday, what you discussed, same topics, or it differs, madam? Can you hear me, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the topics
The
will be first PUC portions, complete portions,
Okay.
and it will I'll be discussing all the questions. It's not
Sure,
topic
ma'am.
wise.
Okay, sure, madam.
Okay.
Thank you. Madam, you can take over the session. Students are joining.
Okay, sir. Fine.
You can share your screen and start the session.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam. Dear students, today madam is going to discuss first PU portion. She will discuss the question. Within the question, you will be discussing the synopsis, right, madam?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Over to you, madam.
Sir, you have to allow me to share.
Just 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah.
I think now you will be able to, madam.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Slide is visible. I
Madam,
hope the
slide is visible. Yeah,
I am
visible.
audible, right?
You are audible.
Yes, thank you, sir. So good evening, students. Today we are going to discuss about your first PUC portions, first PU biology portions. So basically from first PUC, you will be getting around 15 to 20% of questions, right? So I'm not going to discuss in each and everything in detail. So I have picked up few previous years questions, right? Previous years CET, NEET and all those things I have picked up, and I'm going to discuss only those things. And during discussion, we are going to discuss little bit synopsis regarding it, right? So I would like to start with directly question answers. So It is little bit according to your chapter wise. So I hope you can remember a little bit. Fine. So the first question, as you can see in the screen, select the correctly written scientific name of mango, which was first described by Carolus Linnaeus. So you know this is a mango season. So I hope you should be remembering its scientific name as well. So, so every living organism has been named or given a name. It is called as binomial nomenclature. So where the first word denotes the genus, which we should write it in capital letter, and the followed by the small letter words where we are going to write it the species name. So hope you remember that. Is that my voice is very slow? Is it clear? I hope it is clear now. So this scientific name of mango is what we are going to discuss. So which was given by Carolus Linnaeus. So anybody to answer? Anybody knows the answer? Fine. So the scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica Linn. What is this Linn? So it was first, it indicates that this species was first described by Linnaeus, that is Carolus Linnaeus. So we say, so the scientific name of mango is, the genus name is Mangifera, species name is indica because it is present in India or it is found in India, and it was first described by Carolus Linnaeus. So the scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica Linn. Right? I hope you got the answer. Okay, I'll talk louder. Fine. So we'll go with the second question. So the second question is the common characteristics between tomato and potato will be a maximum at the level of there. So they are telling that there are some common characters between tomato and potato. So where there will, what will be, it will be maximum at the level of what? At the level of family, at the level of order, at the level of division, or at the level of genus. What exactly you can find the common characters? In what level you can find the common characters is the question. I hope you can understand what is the question. So if you remember, potato and tomato both belongs to the same family. What is that? Solanaceae, correct? So potato and tomato belongs to the same family, Solanaceae, which is generally called as potato family. Correct. So many species, many plants belong to this family, are sources of fruits and vegetables, etc. Right. So here, in what level the common characters are seen? I have already told the answer while explaining it. Yes, so Sushmita, right, it is family. As I told, both potato and tomato belongs to the same family, that is Solanaceae family. So this is why, because they share the same characteristic, potato family characteristic. So hence many other also belongs to this, but tomato and potato belongs to family Solanaceae. So maximum level of common characters seen here. Right, so we'll go with the third question, which says you have to match column 1 with column 2. Okay, so you have to tell me what exactly matches the column 1 with column 2. Okay, so the options are given here. Find out and you have to answer the question. I hope you're remembering your first PUC syllabus. I hope you can answer a bit. So what is given in the column 1 is herbarium, the key, museum, and catalog. Okay. So on the column 2, it is given. It is a place having a collection of preserved plants and animals, a place that enumerates methodologically all the species found in an area with a brief description aiding identification. It's a place where dried pressed plant specimens mounted on the sheets are kept, and a booklet containing a list of characteristics and their alternates, which are helpful in identification of various taxa. So what exactly is column 1 matching with column 2? So which option will you answer? Okay, D, so many D's. So answer is D. Yes, I would say answer is D. Why? Because the herbarium is nothing but it's a collection of plants where it will be dried, pressed, and mounted on a sheet, herbarium sheet we say, and it all the classification and their characters will be written in that. Correct. So, and then later we have key. So if you don't know exactly what is key, so keep it aside, no problem as such. So you can go with museum. Museum means it is a place having all the collection of preserved plants and animals. And catalog is a book containing a list of characteristics. Sorry, it is a list of enumerates methodologically all the species. So hopefully for A it is 3, for B it is 4, for C it is 1, and for D it is 2. So D will be the correct answer. Coming to fourth question, the label of herbarium sheet does not carry information on date of collection, name of collector, local names, height of the plant. What information will not be there in the herbarium sheet? Just now I told herbarium sheet will be having all the characteristics written on that and all the information written on it, correct? So what information will not be there? So what is the answer here? Yes, Sushmita is right, where in the labeling of the herbarium sheet, it doesn't carry the height of the plant. It will say on what date it has been collected. It will give the name who has been collected it. It will tell the local name of that plant, but it will never tell what is the height of the plant. That is not much required, you know. That information is not written in an herbarium sheet. Fine. So the next question, nomenclature is governed by certain universal rules, right? Which one of the following is contrary to the rules of nomenclature? You have to find which is the contrary statement for the rules of nomenclature. The names are written in Latin and are italicized. When written by hand, the names are to be underlined. Biological names can be written in any language. The first word in the biological name represents the genus name, and the second is the specific epithet. So what could be the correct or contrary statement regarding the rules of nomenclature? So what could be the answer? Biological names can be written in any language. Yes. So that is the contrary thing, where biological names cannot be written in any language. It is always written in terms of Latin and it will be italicized, right? So that will be a contrary statement, the wrong statement regarding the nomenclature. Which of the following organism, we are going for the sixth one, which of the following organisms are known as chief producers in the oceans? The chief producers in the oceans. That is dinoflagellates, diatoms, cyanobacteria, euglenoids. Among this, which are said to be the chief producers in oceans? Yes, Rishabh Shushmita has given answer B. Option B, yes. And D, somebody has given D. Fine. So the right answer regarding this is, as few have told, yes, B, diatoms. So diatoms, if you see, these are the most common form of phytoplanktons, which is seen in the ocean. And they have a pigment, that is a chlorophyll pigment, which helps in photosynthesis. Hence, the major food given for the aquatic animals is this diatoms. So hence we can say these are the chief producers in oceans. Right. Seventh one is ciliates differ from all other protozoan in. Ciliates differ from all other protozoans in what? Using flagella for locomotion, having a contractile vacuole for removing excess water, using pseudopodia for capturing prey, having two types of nuclei. So ciliates differ from all other protozoans in using flagella for locomotion, having a contractile vacuole for removing excess water, using pseudopodia for capturing prey, and having two types of nuclei. What could be the right answer? So if you remember the ciliates, so they differ from the other protozoan in having two types of nuclei in them. One is macronuclei, the other one is micronuclei. So nuclear dimorphism, what we can see here, right? So the best example is the paramecium. It has a macronuclei which controls all the metabolic activity. If you remember the parameciums, the slipper-shaped organism. No, so it will have a major nucleus or the macronucleus, which helps in or which is involved in the metabolic activities as well as growth, where there is a micronuclei which takes part in the reproduction. Right. So this is what is the major difference what we can see in the ciliates than in the other protozoans. So answer will be D. Okay. All other protozoans will have the same things. That is, they will have flagella for locomotion. They will have contractile vacuole for removing excess water. They use pseudopodia for capturing prey. But only ciliates will have two types of nuclei. That is macronuclei and micronuclei. Macro helps in growth and metabolic activities. Micro helps in reproduction. So coming to the eighth question, which of the following statement is incorrect? You have to find out the wrong statement here. Yeast have filamentous bodies with long thread-like hyphae. Morels and truffles are edible delicacies. Claviceps is a source of many alkaloids and LSDs, and conidia are produced exogenously and ascospores endogenously. So what is an incorrect statement among these four? So if you can see, I have written the year also, in what year it has been appeared. Few have appeared in NEET, few have appeared in CET. So have just written the year name. So all this, whatever I'm discussing, is the year questions. I hope it will be helpful for you. So coming to the eighth question, which statement is incorrect? So they say, somebody has given the answer as A. Yes, that is the right answer. So where yeast is not a filamentous body. Yeast is a non-mycelial unicellular fungus, Ascomycetes. right? So they don't have the filamentous body, or they don't have that hyphae, right? So yes, whoever has given answer A is right. We'll go with the 9th question. You have to match column 1 with column 2. So column 1 says saprophyte, parasite, lichens, mycorrhiza. Column 2 says symbiotic association of fungi with plant roots, decomposition of dead organic matter or material, living plants or animals, symbiotic association of algae and fungi. So this is a very easy question. I hope you can easily find the answer here. Somebody is telling A and somebody is telling B. C also. Okay, fine. We all know saprophytes means they help in decomposition of dead organic materials. So it should be A, correct? And parasite, A for 2. Parasite means they will be living in the other living organisms. Lichens, they will have the symbiotic, that is the symbiotic association of algae and fungi. And mycorrhiza is what? Symbiotic association of fungi with plants. So this combination we can see in option A. Hence, whoever has given option A is the right answer. So coming to the 10th question, select the wrong statement. So you have to find out the wrong statement here. Cell wall is present in membranes of fungi and plantae. Mushrooms belong to Basidiomycetes. Pseudopodia are locomotory and feeding structure of sporozoans. Mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell in all kingdoms except Monera. So which statement is a wrong statement here? Okay, answer for 10th one, you have given a C, A, I can see a C and A. Any other answer? C. So everyone, most of you are telling us C. Pseudopodia are the locomotory and the feeding structure in sporozoans. No, pseudopodia are locomotory and feeding structures in amoeba. Flagella is the locomotory structure in sporozoans, right? So flagella or cilia, all these are the locomotory organs. These are the locomotory organs in flagellates. I'll repeat it. Pseudopodia is a locomotory organ in amoeba, cilia and flagella for flagellates, and there will be absent of all this in sporozoans. Hope it is clear. So all these locomotory organs will be absent in sporozoans. Hence, this is the wrong statement. Which of the following is correct about viroids or viroids? However you want, you can spell it. 11th question we are discussing. Which of the following is correct about viroids? They have RNA with protein coat. They have free RNA without protein coat. They have DNA with protein coat. They have free DNA without protein coat. So what could be the correct statement regarding the viruses? Basically, viroids are viruses. So what is a correct statement? So yesterday only we discussed about HIV virus and all. So if you remember, that would be easy for you. Sushmita Rishabh is telling A. Harsha SSR is telling B. So if you remember the HIV virus, what we discussed yesterday, it will RNA as its genetic material, that is free RNA as genetic material, and it will be, nothing will be covered here without any protein code. If protein code is there, our body would have recognized it and destroyed it, correct? So there is no protein code as such. So usually the virus will have a free RNA and without any protein code. They will not have any protein code. So hence, so on the other hand, these viruses are said to be the smallest infectious organisms, right? So yes, right. So we will go for the 12th question. Which of the following statement is incorrect? So among these 4 statements, you have to find the incorrect statement, the wrong statement. Which is the wrong statement among this? Prions consist of abnormally folded proteins. Viroids lack a protein coat. Viroids are obligate parasite. Infective constituent in virus is protein coat. So which is the incorrect statement among this? Yes, Rishabh has given the answer. Any other? D, A. Fine. So whoever has given answer D is the right answer, because the virus will lack the protein. Yeah, said to be the obligate parasite, and they don't have protein code. Here they have, and or the protein code is not the infective constituent here. And prions consist of abnormally folded proteins. Yes, that is also true. They are made up of proteins here. So coming to virus, they will not have the protein code at all. So hence D will be the incorrect statement among the 4. So the next question, which one is wrongly matched? Which one is wrongly matched? So you have to check which is wrongly matched here. Uniflagellate gametes, biflagellate zoospores, gamma corps, uniflagellate gametes, polysiphonia, biflagellate zoospores, brown algae, gamma carps, Marcantia, and unicellular organism, chlorella. So you have to let me know which thing is wrongly matched. Which is a wrong match among these? Any answer? A, D. So if you see here, unicellular organism chlorella, yes. Gamma caps shown by Marcandia, correct. Biflagellate zoospores, yes. Brown algae shows it. And polysiphonia shows non-motile male gametes. It is not the uniflagellate gametes. It shows the non-motile male gametes. Hence, this will be the wrongly matched thing here. These two are the wrongly matched thing. So whoever has given A as an answer, yes, that will be the right answer. Strawberry cones are found in Salvinia, Teres, Marcantia, Equisetum. So in which you can see the strawberry cones. So if you remember, so these cones if you remember this pteridophytes, the sporophyte of the pteridophytes bear sporangia. The sporangia will be extended by leaf-like appendages called as sporophylls. So in some cases, these sporophylls become distinct and compact, called as strobili or cones. So this is seen in pteridophytes. At least remember what all these pteridophytes examples here. So 14th is D, A, D, D. So most of you are telling D. Yes, it is equisetum. Correct. Selaginella and equisetum are the two major pteridophytes what we learn, and in that you can see equisetum produces this strobili cones. Hope you got the answer. Next, which of the following statement is correct? You have to find the correct statement here. That is, ovules are not enclosed by ovary walls in gymnosperm. Selaginella is heterosporous while Salvinia is homosporous. Horsetails are gymnosperm. Stems are usually unbranched in both cycas and cedrus. So which is the correct statement among these four? Any answers regarding it? 15th question. Shushmita says it is A, and somebody else is telling B. See, we are finding out the correct statement here. So as we know, gymnosperms have naked seeds, naked ovules, and then Selaginella and Salvinia, they produce two kinds of spores, microspores and macrospores. And they are heterosporous in nature. They are not homosporous. And equisetum, that is nothing but horsetail, scoring rush, all these are the equisetum, is a pteridophyte. It is not a gymnosperm. And coming to the fourth statement, stems are usually unbranched. They say no, stems are branched in both cycas and cedrus. Right. So if you see all these three statements, B, C, D, all these three statements are wrong. Ovules are not enclosed by ovary wall is the right statement in this. So A will be the right answer. Yes. So coming to the next, zygotic meiosis is a characteristic of fucus, funaria, chlamydomonas, marchantia. So which is the right answer here? Zygotic meiosis is characteristic of. Answers. Option C, option C, option C. Everyone has given option C. I think you all remember it very well. Yes. Chlamydomonas, it shows the zygotic division, meiotic division in the stage of zygote cell, and it exhibits haplotonic type of life cycle. So hope you remember. So we will go with the next slide, that is 17th question. Consider the following features. So the features are given there. That is organ system, level of organization, bilateral symmetry, true coelomates with segmentation of the body. So you have to select the correct option of animal regarding the animal group which possess the above characters. Now, which animal group will possess these three characteristics? Organ system, level of organization, bilateral symmetry, and two coelomates with segmentation of the body. So which group of animals will possess these characteristics? So you have to tell the answer. I hope the question is clear. So some answers are coming. Few have told it as B, few have C, B. See, organ system level of organization is shown by molluscans. Molluscan always shows the organ system level of organization with unsegmented body, except one. All others will show the unsegmented body parts where they have been divided into distinct head, muscular foot, and visceral hump. So they usually show bilateral symmetry, but some molluscans becomes asymmetrical due to torsion. So whatever these things are there, it belongs to the molluscans, or all these are shown by molluscans, where the option, yes, you have told right, that is Annelida, Arthropoda, and Chordata. All this is shown, or Annelida shows organ system level of organization, bilateral symmetry, Arthropoda, and true coelomates with segmentation of the body is seen in Chordata. Clear? Yes, we will go with the 18th question. Which of the following statements are true for the phylum Chordata? So, regarding phylum Chordata, which of the statement is true? So, you have to read these 4 statements and you have to tell which goes correct with the phylum Chordata. In Urochordata, notochord extends from head to tail and is present throughout their life. In vertebrate, notochord is present during the embryonic period only. Central nervous system is dorsal and hollow. Chordata is divided into 3 subphyla: hemichordata, tunichordata, and cephalochordata. So, which statements are true regarding phylum Chordata? So somebody has given answer C with a question mark. Why that question mark? So be confident about the answers what you are giving. So it is, everyone is saying C. Sushmita is saying D. Let us see what is it. So this Urochordata, they will have a notochord which is present only in their larval tail, right? And phylum Chordata is divided into 3 subphyla: hemichordata, tunichordata, and cephalochordata. Right, so these 2 are the things which holds good for phylum Chordata, that is A and D. The other 2 doesn't show the characteristic of phylum Chordata. So A, D option you have. Is that the right AD? AD is, yes. Right, so your answer is C, that's the right answer, because that is the statements that are true regarding phylum Chordata. That is, in vertebrates, notochord is present during the embryonic period itself. Yes. And central nervous system is dorsal and hollow. Yes. But the other 2 is regarding Urochordata, not regarding the phylum Chordata. It is regarding the Urochordata. A and C tells about Urochordata. So your okay, the options are not right, I guess. Is it right? So D is the correct answer. That is, your B and C will be the correct answer for phylum Chordata. Sorry guys. Yes. 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 D. So we will go with the next question. So coming to the 19th question, which of the following animals doesn't undergo metamorphosis? Earthworms, tunicate, moth, starfish. So which among these animals does not undergo metamorphosis? So, metamorphosis is a process of transformation of an immature larva into an adult form. So where these are there will be 2 or more distinct stages here, correct? So the animals which undergoes metamorphosis are said to have indirect developments, right? So the examples you have to find out here among these which doesn't show the metamorphosis. Yes, you're right. That is earthworm, because tunicate, starfish, and moth are the animals which undergo metamorphosis and shows the indirect developmental stages. But earthworm is the one where you can see the development is direct and there is no larval stage formation here. Hence, there will be no metamorphosis in earthworm. Hope it is clear. So going for the 20th question. Which one of these animal is not a homeotherm? So which one of these animals is not a homeotherm? So homeotherm, irrespective of the surrounding temperature, the animals will be able to maintain their body temperature constantly. Those animals are said to be the homeotherms. I'll repeat it. Homeotherms are the animals that maintain their body temperature constantly, even though they are irrespective of their surrounding temperature or metabolic activity. So example for this homeotherms are birds and mammals, right? So here among these four, you have to find out which is not a homeotherm. Apart from bird and animals, so the turtle, which belongs to class Reptilia, is also a phyclotherm, or it is a cold-blooded animal. So that is also said as homeotherm, or that is not a homeotherm, means they are phyclotherms. And on the other hand, so the other name of turtle is Chilon, or Kilon, whatever you want to say. Yes, Shushmita, it is right. Chilon or Kilon, whatever you want to pronounce it. So these are nothing but the turtles which are phyclotherms in nature. They are the cold-blooded animals, right? So they are not homeotherms. So all others are homeotherms in nature. 21st question. Important characteristic that hemichordate shares with chordates is. The important characteristics that hemichordates share with chordates is ventral tubular nerve cord, pharynx with gill slits, pharynx without gill slits, and absence of notochord. So what could be the answer here? So 21, we are talking about 21. Mahesh is telling B. One more is telling us D. See, they are telling that you have to find out one important character of hemichordate that is shared with the chordate. So if you see hemichordates and chordates, they share a similar characteristic. It is the presence of pharyngeal gills, or the pharyngeal gill slits. The gill slits are dorsal in position in hemichordates, whereas they are lateral in chordates, right? So here pharynx with gill slits will be the right answer, which hemichordates and chordates they share as an important character in their among them, right? So that is what is the right answer. I hope the explanation is also fine. Coming to the roots that originates from the base of the stems are the roots that originates from the base of the stem are fibrous roots, prop roots, primary roots, lateral roots. So what will be the correct answer? The root that originates from the base of the stem. So if you see option A, yes, everyone is telling option A. Let's see. So in monocotyledon plants, the primary roots is short-lived and is replaced by large number of roots. So this root originates from the base of the stem and constitute the fibrous root system. So if you take the grass or wheat plant or whatever, so the roots that originates from the base of the stem finally gives it as the fibrous root. So the answer would be A, fibrous root. Right? Sweet potato is a modified stem, taproot, adventitious root, rhizome. So sweet potato is a modified what? So is it a root system, shoot system? It's an adventitious root or it is a rhizome? What? So yes, let's see the answers. Stem. Somebody is telling stem. Somebody is giving A. Yes, A. You are all saying it as A. So if you see, sweet potato is nothing but a swollen single root tuber that does not assume any particular shape, and it is nothing but the modified adventitious root meant for storage of food. So sweet potato is nothing but it is not a stem, it is the adventitious root which is meant for storage of food. I hope it is right. What is it, 100B? Okay, I don't know what is it, 100B. So 23rd answer, B is the right answer. So the 26th question, the ovary is half inferior in. The ovaries will be half inferior in which plant? Brinjal, mustard, sunflower, and plum. Yes, so the ovary is half inferior in brinjal or mustard or sunflower or plum. Where exactly the ovary will be half inferior? So if you it is 1,000 times the same answer, D is what you want to say. So 26th, Sushmita is telling D, and somebody Rishabh A, B, D. So you are giving all the answers as such. So let's see. If you take this brinjal and sunflower, right? So brinjal and sunflower shows superior ovaries, right? Brinjal and sunflower shows superior ovary, where the mustard shows inferior ovary. Mustard shows inferior ovary. So half inferior is shown by the plum. So your right answer will be D, plum. So somebody had given answer 1,000 times D. Yes, D, right answer. Placentation, in which ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary. Placentation, in which ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary or in peripheral part is precentral, basal, axial, parietal. So which kind of placentation can be seen where if the ovules develop on the inner walls of the ovary or in the peripheral part of the ovary? What kind of placentation we say it as? So answer for 28, what is given, what you are giving. So the answer, yes, 10,000 times D, parietal. So parietal placentation means here the ovules are developed in the inner walls of the ovary. In the parietal placentation usually found in the syncarpous ovary or the compound ovary, where the ovary is usually unilocular, and there'll be falls, two or more locules will be present, and the placenta, ingrowth of the placenta will be there, and due to that only you can see the false locule formation, and that is a false septa formation, right? So this is a parietal placentation, right? So 28th question, the morphological nature of edible part of coconut is. The morphological nature of edible part of coconut is. 28th is the endosperm. This is a very easy question, yes, and it is having a direct answer. Yes, you are all right. It is endosperm. The morphological nature of the edible part of coconut is endosperm. So coming to 29th question, phloem and gymnosperms lacks both tube and companion cells, albuminous cells and sieve tubes only, and companion cells only. So here, phloem and gymnosperms lacks what? It is deficient of what? Both sieve tubes and companion cells, albuminous cells and sieve tubes only, and companion cells only. What could be the answer? I'm happy to see the answers here. Yes, you are giving the right answers. It is a sieve tube and companion cells. So the phloem present in the gymnosperms will not have the sieve tubes and the companion cells. So hence they lack these. That will be the right answer. Casparian strips occur in epidermis, pericycle, cortex, endodermis. So where exactly you can see the Casparian strip? Yes, option D, correct. So if you see this Casparian strips is nothing but the band of thickened part which will be present on the radial and tangential walls of the endodermis. So where it is made up of suberin and lignin, right? So this Casparian strip occurs in the endodermal region. Secondary xylem and phloem and dicots are produced by apical meristems, vascular cambium, phalogen, axillary meristems. So which tissue is responsible for a xylem and phloem, or which cells are responsible for the formation of secondary xylem and phloem in dicot stem? We are talking about secondary xylem and phloem. Yes, option is after C. Option is after C. What is it? Fine. So, first, 31st answer. Yes, I would like to say here. So, vascular cambium is a type of cambium, is a type of lateral meristem which produces the secondary tissues, or these are responsible for the secondary growth. Vascular cambium So where it produces two types of meristems, intravascular meristems, which forms the primary meristem, and intervascular cambium, which forms the secondary strip. So here, this vascular cambium is the one with the help of which the phloem and the secondary xylem are formed towards the inner side. And it goes towards the inner side of the meristematic tissues, right? So that is regarding vascular cambium. Coming to plants having little or no secondary growth are, there will be very little secondary growth, or there will be no secondary growth at all. So what are those plants? Grasses, deciduous angiosperms, conifers, or cycads. So what could be the answer? Yes, you're all right. It is grasses. So if you take this monocots lack this vascular cambium, that is the lateral meristems. So they are lack of this vascular and cork cambium. And in case of conifers, cycads, vascular tissues are arranged in the vascular bundles, like same as in angiosperms. So they are open to secondary growth, and they are all common for the secondary growth, but only grasses are the one which lack the secondary growth. So answer is right. 33rd, the vascular cambium normally gives rise to primary phloem, secondary xylem, periderm, phyloderm. So until now, whatever we are discussing about is regarding vascular cambium itself, which is meant for secondary growth, hence secondary xylem and secondary phloem. Just now we discussed. Yes, that's the right answer. Coming to 34th, cuboidal epithelium with brush border of microvilli is found in lining of the intestine, ducts of the salivary gland, proximal convoluted tubule of nephron, eustachian tube. Where exactly you can see this cuboidal epithelium with brush border of microvilli? So what is it? Answer 34th, A, then C, A, C. Everyone is confused between A and C. This is so confusing. So this cuboidal epithelium is composed of a single layer of cell, which is in the shape of cube, and these will be commonly found in ducts of the glands and tubular parts of the nephron. And its main character is secretion and absorption. So here, the epithelium of, if you see the epithelium of PCT of nephron, that is proximal convoluted tubule of nephron, will have certain finger-like structures on their one surface. Right, so they are said to be the microvilli, which is mainly involved in kidney. The nephrons are present in the kidney, and this microvilli presenting cuboidal epithelium is present in the nephron, the PCT of the nephron. Right, hope it is clear. Goblet cells of alimentary canal are modified from squamous epithelium cells, columnar epithelium cells, chondrosis, and compound epithelial cells. So 35. So if you take this goblet cells, so certain columnar epithelial cells, they contain muscles. So they are called as goblet cells, as they look like the goblet. Such cells are present in the alimentary canal. So where you can see these goblet cells, the answer will be your columnar epithelial cells. So columnar epithelial cells contains the muscles, hence they are called as goblet cells, and they are present in the alimentary canal. So answer is B. So going for the next, the ciliated epithelial cells are required to move particles or mucus in a specific direction. In humans, these cells are mainly present in bronchioles and fallopian tube, bile duct and bronchioles, fallopian tube and pancreatic duct, eustachian tube and salivary duct. So where exactly the ciliated epithelial cells are required to move the particles or mucus in one direction, in one specific direction. So answer for 36. Any answer for the 36th question? Yes. Yes, Puneet, I'll be sending this in the group, in WhatsApp group after the classes. Right. And the answer for this 36 is yes, Harsha. Yes, few anonymous, you have all told, right? Bronchioles and fallopian tube. So in the bronchioles, to remove the foreign particles which has entered in, as well as mucus, the ciliated epithelial cells will be there. And in the fallopian tube, for the proper movement of ova. So we have the ciliated epithelial cells in them. If the head of the cockroach is removed, it may live for a few days because it may, see, if the head of the cockroach is removed, it may live for a few days. Because why? The supraesophageal ganglia of the cockroach are situated in the ventral part of abdomen. The cockroach does not have nervous system. The head holds a small portion of nervous system while the rest is situated along with the ventral part of its body. The head holds a 1/3 of the nervous system while rest is situated along the dorsal part of its body. So what could be the answer? Even after removing the head, the cockroach can survive for a few days. What is the reason? Yes, you are right. So the head holds a very small amount of, or very small portion of nervous system. Remaining everything will be present towards the ventral side of the body, that is the belly side. Belly part of the body is where most of the part of nervous system is present. So if you break the head of the cockroach also, or if the cockroach head is cut off also, it can still live for as long as 1 week. So it can still survive for 1 week because most of the nervous system is present towards the belly region, ventral part of the body. 38th question, frog's heart when taken out of the body continues to beat for some time. Select the best option from the following. Frog is spiclotherm. Frogs does not have any coronary circulation. Heart is myogenic in nature. Heart is octoexcitable. So what the question is, if the frog's heart is removed from its body, even after removing, there will be it will be beating continuously for some time. Why? "38, you are telling it as C. That is 3 and 4. Correct. So if you take this heart, frog's heart is myogenic in nature. That is, the heartbeat originates in the heart muscles, right? And hence it is autorhythmic in nature. The wave of contraction originates from the sinus venosus and spreads to all parts and both auricles as well. So due to this reason, frog's heart will continue to beat as long it gets supply of ATP. So frog's heart is myogenic in nature and they are auto-excitable is the right statement regarding this. 39th question, the concept of omnis cellula a cellula regarding cell division was first proposed by. So the concept of omnis cellula a cellula regarding cell division was first proposed by Aristotle, Rudolf Virchow, Theodor Schwann or Schleiden. So who said this or who gave this concept regarding cell division? So omnis cellula a cellula means it exactly means that new cells are developed by the division of pre-existing cells. So the meaning of this omnis cellula a cellula means a new cell is formed from the pre-existing cells. So this is what it means. So who gave this theory? Basically, it was given by answers given here. Yes, it is Rudolf Virchow is the one who told that the cells are existing, the new cells are existing from the pre-existing cells. Which one of the following statement about inclusion body is incorrect? About the inclusions body is incorrect. They are not bound by any membrane. These are involved in ingestion of food particles. They lie free in the cytoplasm. These represents reserve material in cytoplasm. So what is the main function of inclusion body? Or like if you know the functions of inclusion body, you will tell which is the incorrect statement among this about the inclusion bodies. So answer is B, B, D, B, C. All answers are coming out. So the answer, whoever has given B is the right answer, because inclusion bodies, they are not bounded by any membrane and they don't have or they don't lie free in the cytoplasm, and these represents reserve material in the cytoplasm. Yes, all these three are the characteristic of inclusion body, but they are not involved in ingestion of any food materials. So that is the incorrect statement regarding inclusion bodies. 41, question number 41, which is the important site of formation of glycoproteins and glycolipids in eukaryotic cell. So in the eukaryotic cell, which site is important or which site is involved in the formation of glycoproteins and glycolipids? Endoplasmic reticulum, peroxisomes, Golgi bodies, polysomes. So we are talking about 41, question number 41. So somebody has given the answer as C. So if you remember, the nucleus will have the genetic material that will be replicated, transcribed and translated, and that will come into the tip of the endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is said to be the protein factories along with ribosomes, correct? And then those will be converted into glycoproteins and glycolipids in one important site, that is our Golgi apparatus or Golgi bodies. Golgi bodies are the important site for the formation of glycoproteins and glycolipids, that is glycerol connected with proteins, glycerol connected with lipids. So these proteins and proteins are synthesized in the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and the lipids are synthesized in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So that will reach the cisternae of the Golgi apparatus. and there they will combine with the carbohydrate. So forming glycoproteins and glycolipids. Hence, the answer is Golgi bodies. 42nd, which of the following statement is not correct? Which is not correct, they are telling. Lysosomes are formed by the process of packaging in the endoplasmic reticulum. Lysosomes have numerous hydrolytic enzymes. The hydrolytic enzyme of lysosomes are active under acidic pH, and lysosomes are membrane-bounded structures. Which statement is not correct regarding lysosomes? So 42, the answer is, so see, if you see these lysosomes, they are single membraned vesicles. They'll contain the hydrolytic enzymes, which is believed to be, which is involved, or which is the important factor in dissolving many things, right? And apart from that, certain enzymes are also packed in this lysosomes, or the precursors of the enzymes will be present. They will be changed to the proper enzymes, and the lysomatic, like the lysis happens with the help of this enzyme, that is hydrolytic actions. So where further this happens only under the acidic medium, that is 4.5 pH. Right, so all these are the things what we see regarding lysosomes. So the right answer, the incorrect statement is lysosomes are formed by the process of packaging in the endoplasmic reticulum. No, lysosomes are formed by the pinching out of endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi bodies. Correct, so this is the incorrect statement. Which of the following is true for nucleolus? Which of the following is true for nucleolus? Large nucleoli are present in dividing cells. It is a membrane-bounded structure. It takes part in spindle formation. It is a site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. What is true regarding nucleolus? Students, we are talking about 43rd question. Hope you are getting it. So I'm expecting the answers in the QA box. So nucleolus, if you remember, those are said to be devoid of membrane. They are naked. They have irregular structure, and they just have chromatin, right, in a specific region in the nucleolar specific region that is called as nucleolar organizing region. The nucleolus is a site for RNA synthesis, yes, and it disappears when the cell undergoes cell division and reappears after its completion, right? So all these are the characteristics of nucleolus. So the true statement regarding is it is a site of active ribosomal synthesis, right? So all other things are wrong regarding nucleolus. So coming to 44th, the Golgi complex participates in. The Golgi complex participates in fatty acid breakdown, formation of secretory vesicles, respiration in bacteria, activation of amino acid. So what is Golgi complex involved in? What it is involved in, or where it participates in? Fatty acid breakdown, formation of secretory vesicles, respiration in bacteria, activation of amino acids. So what is the right answer here? Where is Golgi apparatus present? So if you remember regarding Golgi complex, it is a complex cytoplasmic structure made up of membrane or sac-like structure called cisternae, we say. And These take part in transformation, secretion, and production of complex biochemicals, right? And so, what exactly the function of this? Sushmita has given the right answer: formation of secretory vesicles. Students, just a minute. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Yes, so let's talk about 45th question. Which of the following events does not occur in rough endoplasmic reticulum? Which will not occur in rough endoplasmic reticulum. So you have to remember about rough endoplasmic reticulum and its function, and which event will not happen in the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So if you see protein folding, protein glycosylation, cleavage of single peptide, phospholipid synthesis, all these are the events which happens in the endoplasmic reticulum. But in which part these things will happen is what you have to say. Protein folding happens. So if you take endoplasmic reticulum is of two types: rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. A rough endoplasmic reticulum is associated with ribosome, hence they are involved in protein synthesis. And smooth endoplasmic reticulum is not involved in protein synthesis as it doesn't have ribosomes. So protein folding, protein glycosylation, and cleavage of single peptide, all these happens in the rough endoplasmic reticulum, but the lipid synthesis happens in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So this is the option. D is the option which does not happen in rough endoplasmic reticulum. Yes. So Smita, Aditya, you're right. 46th question, identify the basic amino acid from the following. You have to find out which is the basic amino acid from the following, which is said to be the basic amino acid. I hope you remember the basic amino acid, which is said to be the basic amino acid among this: tyrosine, glutamic acid, lysine, valine. Yes, answers. Yes, Sushmita, you're right. The basic amino acid here is, what is you're telling B? No. See, tyrosine, glutamic acid, and valine are the acidic. Glutamic acid is the acidic amino acid. Valine is the neutral amino acid, and tyrosine is the aromatic amino acid, respectively. But the basic amino acid here is the lysine. Yes, SSR is right. Lysine is the basic amino acid. The two functional groups characteristics of sugar are: The two functional groups characteristics of sugar are hydroxyl and methyl, carbonyl and methyl, carbonyl and phosphate, carbonyl and hydroxyl. So which is said to be the characteristic of sugar, or which two you can see as the characteristic of sugar. Sugar is nothing but carbohydrate. So if you remember the structure of carbohydrate, C6H12O6. So you will write like this, CHO, then C. Right, and here it will be OH, H, and all other things are OHH, correct? I hope I'm writing it right. And OH basically. So here if you see, there will be two functional groups present here. So which is that functional group you have to tell. So hydroxyl and methyl, carbonyl and methyl, carbonyl and phosphate, carbonyl and hydroxyl. What is it? Carbonyl and hydroxyl. Aditya says D. Yes. Yes, Aditya, you are right. It is carbonyl and methyl. If you see, so there are many hydroxyl groups. We say carbohydrate will have polyhydroxyl groups in them. And apart from that, there is a carbonyl group here, which is CO bond. That is this thing. CO bond will be present. So this is what is carbonyl bond we have. So these two are the functional group present in sugars or the carbohydrates. Secondary metabolites such as nicotine, strinine and caffeine are produced by plants for their nutritive value, growth response, defense action, effect on reproduction. So secondary metabolites like these are produced by the plants for their. Why the plants produces these secondary metabolites for? For their nutritive value, for the defense mechanism, for the growth response, or for the effect of reproduction, what it is basically. So if you see these three, nicotine, strinine, and caffeine, all these are the alkaloids, or these are the examples of alkaloids. And basically, this plants produces these metabolites in order to defend themselves from the herbivorous animals and well as pathogens. So, and that is the defense mechanism shown by the plants, or the defense action shown by the plants. Answer C. Which one of the following is the most abundant protein in the animals? So which one of the following is the most abundant protein in animals? Hemoglobin, collagen, lectin, and insulin. So what is the right answer here? So which one is the most abundant protein in animals is the question. So what is that? Yes, SSR is right. He has given the right answer, and few more has given the right answer. Collagen. Collagen is the abundant, most abundant protein found in the animal kingdom or animal world itself. So which of the following glucose transporter is insulin dependent? Yes. So which of the following glucose transporters is said to be insulin dependent? That is GLUT4, GLUT1, GLUT2, GLUT3. Which is it? So if you see GLUT, it stands for glucose transport. This is glucose transport protein channels. Okay, it stands for glucose protein transport channel. It is of different types, where GLUT4 is a protein encoded in humans by the gene SLC2A4. Right, SLC2A4 is the gene which codes for this transporter, glucose transporter, and this is meant for, or this is where the insulin is attached with, or this is where the insulin is attached with. Okay, so the answer here, sorry. So I was telling this is coded by SLC2A4 gene, and insulin is primary regulated glucose transporter, where it is in adipose tissue and striated muscles, found in adipose tissue and striated muscles. And yes, GLUT4 is the one which is insulin dependent. Okay, as it is found in adipose tissue and collagen. Yes, option A is the right answer. Identify the substance having glycosidic bond and peptide bond respectively in their structures. You have to find where you can see the glycosidic bond and the peptide bond respectively. So it is chitin, then cholesterol, glycerol, trypsin, cellulose, lecithin, insulin, inulin, and insulin. So we are talking about 51, question number 51. So what is it? Everyone is telling, okay, Sushmita is telling D, others are telling D and B. See, Sushmita is right. Inulin is a polymer of fructose. It is a polysaccharide. And in a polysaccharide, the individual monosaccharides are linked by glycosidic bond. And coming to this, insulin is a polymer of amino acids where they are linked by peptides. So this is a polysaccharide. So hence homosaccharides are linked by glycosidic bond. And insulin is a chain of polypeptide, a chain of amino acids. We call it as polypeptide that is linked by peptide bond. So answer is D. And the 52nd, you have to match the following. You have to match column A with column B. Inhibitor of catalytic activity. B is it possesses peptide bond, cell wall material, and secondary metabolite. Okay, I'll tell you a typo error. This has to be attached with his, and the secondary metabolite, it has to come here. Okay, only the words will shift here. You have to match it properly now. So what could be the answer? The inhibitor of catalytic activity is who? Then possess metabolite, possess peptide is who? Cell wall material is what? And secondary metabolite is what? (52nd). We are talking about 52nd, students. So coming to this inhibitor of catalytic activity is done by malonate bonds. It possesses peptide bond. It possesses peptide is your collagen because it is a protein. Cell wall material is chitin in fungi, and secondary metabolite is the resin. So your option A would be the right answer. Yes, Harsha, right? It is A. Identify the correct statement with regarding to G1 phase of interface. That is gap 1 phase of interface. You have to identify the correct statement with regarding to G1 phase. So you have to let me know. So if you remember, we have in a cell cycle, we will have interphase, right? G phase, M phase, and S phase. Correct. S phase is said to be synthesis phase, right? And G phase is said to be the gap 1 phase. In the interphase, if you see G1 phase is present. So what is the correct statement regarding this? What happens in this G1 phase? So what is it? Any answers? Anybody knows the answer regarding this? 53C. Yes. Yes. Harshan, Shushmita, right? Cell is metabolically active and grows, but does not replicate its DNA. Okay. So the replication of DNA, synthesis of DNA all takes place in the S phase, and in the G phase only the cell will be metabolically active and grows in its size. That's it, right? Coming to 54th question, some dividing cells exit the cell cycle and enter vegetative inactive stage. This is called quiescent stage or GO stage. This process occurs at the end of M phase, G1 phase, S phase, and G2 phase. So the process occurs at the end of which phase? See, you're telling about 54th question. Is it the answer C is for 54th or something? 54th. We are talking about 54th question, children. Yes, some dividing cells, they exit from the cell cycle and they enter an inactive phase, what we call it as G0 phase or GO phase. It occurs at the end of G1 phase. Okay, it occurs at the end of G1 phase is the right answer. 55th question, cells in GO phase terminate the cell cycle, exit the cell cycle, enter the cell cycle, or suspend the cell cycle. Just the reverse of what we have just now discussed. So that quiescent stage, what we discussed, is nothing but GO phase, where they exit the cell cycle. They don't terminate or they won't enter. They just exit the cell cycle, and then it will go for the vegetative inactive stage, right? So coming to 56th question. Anaphase promoting complex APC is a protein degradation machinery necessary for proper mitosis of animal cell. If APC is defective in human cell, which of the following is expected to occur? Chromosome will be fragmented, chromosome will not segregate, recombination of chromosome arms will occur, chromosome will not condense. So 56th question, what it says is APC, that is anaphase promoting complex, is a protein degradation machinery which is necessary for proper mitosis. Okay, if this is defective, what could be expected? Chromosomes will be fragmented, chromosomes will not be segregated, recombination of chromosome arms occur, chromosome will not condense. So what could be the answer here? So we all know during anaphase, what happens? The sister chromatids segregate, right? Somebody has given the answer here. Let me see. 56 B. Sushmita is telling it as B, right? So what happens here usually in anaphase phase of in mitosis? Sister chromatid segregates at opposite poles, right? And if APC is defective, it will affect the segregation of this chromosomes. So chromosomes will not segregate here. Hence, it will not move to the opposite pole, right? Correct. So 57th, you have to match the following with respect to meiosis. You have to remember the stages of meiosis, and with respect to that, you have to match column A with column B. Zygotine, pachytene, diplotin, diakinesis, terminalization, chiasmata, crossing over, synapses. So you have to let me know what matches with what, which stage matches with what. Any answers? Harsha is telling B. So the zygotine is the stage where we can see the synapse formation, and the pachytene, you can see the crossing over of the chromosomes. Diplotin, chiasmata, and diakinesis is what? Terminalization. Okay, so the answer is B. Yes, Harsha is right. 58th question. Question number 58. The process responsible for facilitating loss of water in liquid form from the tip of the grass blades at night and in the early morning is transpiration, root pressure, imbibition, plasmolysis. The process responsible for facilitating loss of water in liquid form from the tip of the grass blade at night and in early morning is due to transpiration, root pressure, imbibition, plasmolysis. What could be the answer? So if you see, so you read out the answer and let me know. Yes, Sushmita has already answered still. I'll explain it. Meantime, transportation of ions will take place from the soil and through the vascular tissue of the roots. It goes or it reaches the all parts of the body where the pressure inside the xylem increases. Right. So this pressure is what we call it as root pressure. Right. As the pressure increases in the vascular tissues of the roots, it is called root pressure, and this root pressure is effectively absorbed at night time and in the early morning time, where evaporation will be very low and excess water collects in the form of droplets around the small opening of the veins of the grass blades and leaves of certain plants. So if you see the grass blades like this, there will be small droplets will be present at the tip of the leaves, correct? So that is a process which happens due to the root pressure, which is low in the night time and in the early morning time, due to which accumulation of water droplets takes place. So Sushmita, your right answer is B. Xylem translocates water, mineral salts, most organic nitrogen and hormones. Water only, water and mineral salts only, water, mineral salts, and some inorganic nitrogen only. So xylem translocates what exactly? So it is very, just now we discussed what xylem translocates in. Well prepared, Sushmita. You're giving the right answers throughout. The xylem translocates water, mineral salts, some organic nitrogen, and hormones. So xylem is the one which translocates water, mineral salts, organic nitrogen, hormones, everything. Right? So that is the right answer. 60th question. Stomatal movement is not affected by. Stomatal movement is not affected by temperature, light, oxygen concentration, and carbon dioxide concentration. So what's the answer? Stomatal movement is not affected by. So if there is a high temperature, light, and carbon dioxide concentration, it will affect the opening and closing of stomata, right? So carbon dioxide concentration, it helps in opening and closing. temperature, yes, high temperature and low temperature, light, yes, all these affects the stomatal movement, that is opening and closing of stomata. Oxygen concentration, stomatal movement doesn't depend on oxygen concentration. So the answer for the 60th one is option C. Okay, so option C, that is oxygen concentration will not affect stomatal movement. 61, what is the direction of movement of sugars in phloem? What is the direction of movement of sugars in phloem? Bidirectional, non-multidirectional, upward, downward. So we all know phloem is a vascular tissue meant for transportation of food, correct? And these food are synthesized in the leaf part or in the source, and it will be distributed to all parts of the plant body. Since the source and the sink means where it reaches. So since the source and the sinks are connected, and through which all these happens, so it will be there will be upward direction also, and there will be downward direction also. So what we call it as bidirectional. So the direction of movement of sugars in phloem will be bidirectional. Which of the following facilitates opening of stomatal aperture? Sorry, aperture. Stomatal aperture. Which of the following facilitates opening of stomatal aperture? Just now we discussed regarding opening and closing of stomata, right? So which condition helps in opening of the stomatal aperture? Answers. So we are talking about 62. Harsha wants to say it as B. So when the turgidity increases, what happens within the two guard cells of the stomata? The opening happens. Yes. And this radial orientation of cellulose microfibrils in the cell wall of the guard cell will help in the opening and closing of stomata. Because of turgidity, this microfibrils helps in, or it aids in opening of the stomata, and rather in the longitudinal direction, longitudinal orientation. So all answers are right, and as I said, it takes place in the longitudinal orientation. The radial orientation will not happen. So that will be the that is what we can see, that this radial orientation of cellulose microfibrils in the cell wall of guard cells helps in facilitating the opening of stomatal aperture. So opening yes, the radial orientation of cellulose microfibrils, which is present in the cell wall of the guard cells, it will be the right answer, because it doesn't show the longitudinal orientation. The radial orientation should happen in order to open it. And coming to 63rd question. Again, column 1 and 2 is given. You have to match column 1 with column 2. Column 1 are some elements, column 2 is their functions. So match column 1 with column 2, the element with their proper function. Iron, zinc, boron, manganese, photolysis of water, pollen germination, required for chlorophyll biosynthesis, IAA biosynthesis. IAA biosynthesis. You have to select the correct option here. Right. So you have to match it. So I hope you're getting the answers. Yes, Harsha says C. Shushmita says C. So if you see, iron is required for chlorophyll synthesis. Zinc is required for your IAA biosynthesis. Boron is required for pollen germination, and manganese is meant for photolysis of water. So yes, you people are right. It is C. C is the right answer. Which of the following element is responsible for maintaining turgor in cells? Which of the following element is responsible for maintaining the turgidity in the cells? Basically, the turgidity in the cells is maintained by which element? Is it magnesium, sodium, potassium, and calcium? So which element is responsible for maintaining turgidity? So 64th question answer. Harsha says C. Yes, you're all right. It is potassium. Potassium concentration inside the cell helps in maintaining the turgidity as well as opening and closing of the stomata. And then 65th question, in which of the following forms is iron absorbed by plants? In which form of iron the plant will absorb? Is it ferric, ferrous, free element, both ferric and ferrous? In which form iron is absorbed by the plants? So your the iron will be present in two forms, ferric and ferrous form. Usually the plant absorbs the iron in the form of ferric. It's not ferrous, it is only the ferric form. So iron is absorbed by the plants in the form of ferric ions. Okay, so the right answer is A. The products of reaction catalyzed by nitrogenase in root nodules of leguminous plant is ammonia alone, nitrate alone, ammonia and oxygen, ammonia and hydrogen. So the product of reaction is catalyzed by nitrogenase in the root nodules of leguminous plant. It is by the product will be ammonia alone, nitrate alone, ammonia and oxygen, ammonia and hydrogen. What is the right answer? So nitrogenase is an enzyme which converts the atmospheric nitrogen to the absorbable form. What is it? If you remember this reaction, you can answer this question. Right, Sushmita and Harsha, it is ammonia and hydrogen. So nitrogenase is an enzyme which converts the atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia, right, into ammonia. And if you see the formula, so the equation will be N2 plus electrons, sorry, gives what? Hydrogen plus 16 ATP, sorry, it is all plus. So here only, so nitrogen plus electron plus hydrogen plus ATP gives you ammonia plus hydrogen plus ADP plus PI. So this is what is the reaction happens in the presence of this nitrogenase enzyme. Okay, the answer is ammonia and hydrogen. The Theobacilli is a group of bacteria helpful in carrying out. Theobacilli is a group of bacteria helpful in carrying out denitrification, nitrogen fixation, chemoautotrophic fixation, nitrification. So what is the right answer? Asha says the only Shushmita has given the answer A. Yes, you're right. denitrification process. Denitrification is a process opposite to nitrogen fixation, what we learned in the previous thing. So it is converted, whatever the nitrates are there, they get converted into the nitrogen gas by a group of bacteria, that is Pseudomonas denitrificans or Theobacillus denitrificans, right? So they are involved in denitrification. 68th, oxygen is not produced during photosynthesis. Is it by? Oxygen is not produced during photosynthesis by green sulfur bacteria, nostoc, cycas, cara. In which of these organisms or in which of this oxygen is not produced during photosynthesis? So option, yes, the name itself says green sulfur bacteria. So the green sulfur bacteria are the group of bacteria which in which the light reaction of photosynthesis, these are the group of bacteria which doesn't have the ability to use water as an electron donor. They will use sulfide as an electron donor here. And hence, as they use sulfide as electron donor, there will be no liberation of oxygen gas. Okay, so this is the one. So answer A is the right answer. Which of the following is not a product of light reaction of photosynthesis? This is not the product of light reaction of photosynthesis. What is it? ATP, NAD, NADP, H, NADH, NADPH, and oxygen. This is not the product of light reaction here. So, can I expect the answers? Sushmita says C, Shridhar B. So in our light reaction of photosynthesis, ATP, NADPH, and oxygen are produced. And NADPH participate in anabolic reaction that consumes energy in order to build large molecules. So if you remember, so NADH is the one which is involved in catabolic reactions, that is respiration and all, which break down the molecules into the energy. So here, if you see, NADH is the one which is not involved in the light reaction of photosynthesis. In the light reaction, plastoquinone facilitates the transfer of electrons from PS2 to cytochrome B6F complex, cytochrome B6F complex to PS1, PS1 to NADP plus, and PS1 to ATP synthetase. What is the answer here? So if you remember the light reactions of photosynthesis, you'll be able to answer this. So as soon as the light is reached or the excitement happens, so the electrons is passed from PS2, that is P60, to the primary electron acceptor, that is pheophytin. From this primary electron acceptor, electrons is passed to the plastoquinone. Then plastoquinone in turns, it gives the electrons to the cytochrome B6F complex. Therefore, plastoquinone facilitates the transfer of electrons from PS2 to the cytochrome B6F complex. I hope you remember this. Right. So this is regarding your 70th question. So we have 4 more minutes. I'll do some more questions, I hope. Phosphophenol pyruvate, PP, is primary carbon dioxide acceptor in C4 plants, C2 plants, C3, C4 plants, and C3 plants, in which PP is said to be the primary carbon dioxide acceptor. Answer here. So in C4 plants only you can see PP, which is not a primary carbon dioxide acceptor. In all others you can see, yes, you're right, Sushmita and Sridhar, it is C4 plants. The oxygenation activity of ribosco enzyme in photorespiration leads to the formation of what? The oxygenation activity of ribosco enzyme in photorespiration leads to the formation of what? Two molecules of 3C compounds, one molecule of 3C compounds, one molecule of 6C compounds, one molecule of 4C compound, and one molecule of 2C compound. So what is the right answer here? So photorespiration happens in the C3 plants where some oxygen does not bind to ribosco and RUBP. Instead of being converted to two molecules of PGA, instead of being converted to two molecules of PGA, binds with oxygen to form another molecule of phosphoglycerate, right, and phosphoglycolate. So if you remember, that is what, there is only one formation of one molecule of 3C compound, that is a phosphoglycerate, and phosphoglycate is a 2-carbon compound. So there is only one molecule of 3-carbon compound will be formed at the oxygenation activity of ribosco enzyme. I hope it is clear and done. Sir, you want me to continue? There is a few more
No,
questions left.
If you have two questions, you can finish if you wanted to finish.
No, I have more questions actually. So if you want, I'll continue or I'll stop it here and I will share the questions with you.
You can share the question, madam. You can share to the in the group, in faculty group. I'll share to the students group.
Okay, fine, sir. Fine, I'll do that. And yeah, the remaining few more questions are there. If time permits, I'll be discussing with you in the next class, right? And hope the class was a bit useful. And yeah, you have to concentrate because 15 to 20% you will get from first PUC. So these questions may be helpful. It's all previous year's questions. And thank you for listening the session.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you, students. Hope definitely useful the class is. And tomorrow also the same. Chemistry will be the first. Next will be biology of Pawan sir. First chemistry of Ravi Shankar sir. Next followed by Pawan sirs. I will share the material as well as recording. Whoever has not sat fully, listen to the recording. Thank you so much. Happy learning.